The important thing to me was that we were making each other better. I believe, at least. I know he was making me better, and I hope that I was making him better.
So you won 7 Grand Slam titles over 5 years. It started and ended with U.S. Open.
6 years.
Yeah,
Oh, is it 5? No, maybe you're right. 5. 6, 5. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Somewhere around there.
Oh, my God, you're right.
Started and ended with U.S.
Yes.
Open championships. Even with that having been said, you've said your most enjoyable years were 79 and 80 when you were number 3 in the world, not number 1. Why?
I think that the climbing the ladder is more exciting, and you learn from your mistakes. At least I did. I think it's easier at a younger age to sort of keep perspective, and it's you're on the road for the first time on a full-time basis. You're just in a way loving every minute of it. You don't have the pressure. I didn't realize the difference. I said, look, if I'm number 1 in the world, or I'm number 3 in 1979, number 2 in 1980, and now I'm number 1. That's not a big difference. It appeared. I was thinking, it's only one. It's only one guy, so there should be a heap full of pressure on that guy. But I was amazed at how different it was.
In what ways was it different?
Especially because Bjorn stopped right when I really became number 1, so that put the spotlight even more on me, because they didn't have, everyone was so shocked that he had stopped that they pretend like it didn't happen. But even in other sports, I think for some reason that number 1, and I understand it to agree, I don't understand to the degree that things changed, but it seems so much tougher.
You became less trusting of people when...
I'm not sure that I was all that trusting before. My mom was always sort of wary of anything, people taking advantage of me, so I probably always had that, but it got worse, of course. You always feel like people are taking advantage of you, but I did feel that my world got smaller than I wanted it to be. I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do as easily. But that's also because, you're successful, and people, they want more a piece of you, or you're more public, or they think that, you have to act in a certain way. I mean, you can go on and on. And by the way, a lot of it's good. Most of it is good. So I think people, they have a tendency to sort of make it sound like me or other, oh God, it's so tough. And I can understand why people can't relate in a lot of ways, most people that aren't in that position. So you do gravitate towards people that you feel like you can relate to, even if it's in other areas of entertainment, whether it's music or successful actors, other sports. People that you feel like can sort of understand what you're going through.
1980 Wimbledon, you and Borg, epic 4th set tiebreaker that you end up winning 18 to 16, 7 times you defended the championship point, but you end up losing that match, and you said Borg's much later retirement caused you to lose motivation, and it took you a couple of years before you started improving again as a player. Why?
Well, that was a match where it really became apparent that there was something really special when we played, and it was in the biggest of occasions. So to me, I was really looking forward to a lot more of it. The next year I beat him in the finals in Wimbledon, and yes, I beat him in the next year at the finals of the Open, but that doesn't mean the tables couldn't have been turned 2 years later or 3. But the important thing to me was that we were making each other better. I believe, at least. I know he was making me better, and I hope that I was making him better. We were so different, but we actually were friendly. We got along. He was like the guy that I never had a problem with. So it was so shocking when he stopped, so surprising. Not really someone that I could test myself or look at and say, okay, what do I need to do now? Not that there weren't other players there, but I kept waiting for him to come back. And so it took me a while, a year or two, to realize he wasn't coming back.
Why do you still feel sick when you're in Paris, and oftentimes wonder how differently your life would have been had you won the French Open?
I don't know how differently my life would have been. I think I would have been considered like higher up on the sort of all-time greats. You know, my ranking seems to be dropping every couple of years. I mean, hopefully I'm still in the top 10. But
it's also unfair because there wasn't the same importance on the Australian and French Open back when.
But I mean, you know,
I
I did recognize that I felt like, okay, I got to prove to people, because I actually was better, and when I was growing up on clay. I'd won the big events, the French juniors, for example. So I mean, I wanted to prove that I could do it on all surfaces, and I should have proven it. I did prove it, but I didn't. I choked when I needed to just. And then by the time. I thought, okay, I got to win it the next year. I didn't win it the next year. The following year, I didn't play because my son was born. And then when I took time off and decided I was going to become a better player, I didn't become a better player. So I never, you know, was able to. And I had to you have to go over there for long periods of time in order to really pay your dues and get used to the court more than I was willing or capable of doing. So I had to prioritize a little bit, which I didn't want to do, but I never was the same. So I do feel like there's at least a day. Most of the time I have a good time in Paris, by the way. It's the most beautiful city in the world. People they're very supportive, even now. They say positive things. So there's only a day or two where I have those like sort of nightmares, I guess. Basically,
legitimately still.
Yeah, legitimate. Like you wake up and it's oh yeah, I lost. You know, one of those.
What's the nightmare about?
Well, the nightmare is about how I screwed it up. You know, basically, and what I could or should have done. But you know, I try to minimize that. I mean, you know, we all have our. I bet you wish you had done an interview better at one time or another, and it keeps you up at night.
Yeah.
All 31 years of you.